From the W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications, your home for complete Marshall University news. You're watching MU Report.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us for this fourth edition of MU Report of the fall semester 2019. I'm Tiara Brown.
And I'm Mackenzie Watson. We're a student newscast of the W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications at Marshall University. We air this broadcast not only on West Virginia Public Broadcasting, but also on YouTube. Now to our top story.
MU Report begins with a subject that likely keeps more students awake than almost any other: housing costs and living expenses. For any student who questions why it's expensive to live on campus, the people who run Marshall Housing have a simple answer. As Sebastian Morris reports, it's just like living at home, only you're paying for it. All of it.
Paying room and board to live on campus at Marshall University costs more than tuition. Officials say this is because housing is considered a non-core auxiliary department.
We receive no funding from the state. All of our funding for everything in our department comes from the students who live on campus with us.
When you buy a meal plan, you're paying for more than just food. Marshall's housing department is tied down to over $10 million in debt accumulated from building construction, renovation, and upkeep.
We have, where Harless Dining Hall was built, we pay the mortgage for that. That money does not come from the university, it comes from the students who live on campus with us.
Students say they wish living on campus was cheaper, but Marshall officials say you get what you pay for.
We know that it is pricey, it costs a lot to live on campus, but because of that cost, we try to also provide a better experience.
24 hours a day, there's some level of service that's constantly being offered.
University police, counseling, and services like that. And so our department pays over $1 million a year to the university in what we call an indirect to help support some of the services that we utilize across campus for our students.
This is Holderby Hall. It's very old, there's no air conditioning, and there's a bathroom shared by students on each floor. Students wanted better living conditions, so Marshall built them new residence halls to replace old ones like this.
You know, we all want like the Waldorf Astoria, but we're probably not going to get it at the Motel 6 price. You know, and so if you want the Waldorf Astoria, sometimes you pay.
Sorry, Holderby. Sebastian Morris, MU Report.
Housing administrators say when it comes to the decision to live off campus or on, much more than price should be considered.
Staying on the subject of paying for education, most Marshall students apply for financial aid to pay for tuition, books, housing, and more. That financial assistance goes to those who qualify, but as Sarah Rowe reports, some still have trouble getting the money they're owed.
Financial assistance in the form of scholarships, grants, loans, and work study is available to full and part-time students who qualify. Though students can apply for financial aid for free, many have trouble accessing their money due to lack of knowledge on how to apply or unsatisfied financial aid requirements.
People just kind of wait too long and then they're in a scramble, and then financial aid makes it a lot harder because of that issue. It makes it so much harder to turn in your week because there's like a 2-week waiting period. And that makes it difficult for people who kind of have jobs who have to wait till the last second. I just think the whole process could be run a little bit smoother.
For people that aren't living with their parents or haven't seen their parents in quite a while or separated from them. And so if their parents are rich and they're not helping them with school and stuff, they're kind of stuck on their own. And
the Office of Student Financial Assistance awards approximately $144 million of financial aid to undergraduate, graduate, and professional students.
But we're in midterms, and like I'm just now getting the hang of everything, so I feel like it definitely could be helpful, but they need to be more helpful. We need more resources, we need more transparency, we need more communication with it.
Students can apply for financial aid for a number of reasons, but often do not see their money when they need it the most at the beginning of the semester. The Financial Aid Office says the easiest way to avoid problems such as this is to apply early and be aware of all options available to you. Sarah Rowe, MU Report.
Financial aid starts out intimidating because of the FAFSA form, but Marshall has scheduled filing events for the 2020-2021 school year to reduce the stress of applying. The earlier a student applies, the less likely they will miss an important deadline that affects their financial aid. Students can use their MU Online accounts to keep up to date with FAFSA information and filing deadlines.
So what happens when loans, grants, and outside work aren't enough? Nearly a quarter of medical school graduates carry debts higher than $200,000, which is why Marshall Med students put their own money into a scholarship to help their own. For only the second time in Marshall's history, medical students raised money to endow a scholarship before their graduation date.
We really just wanted to make it broad to help out as many students as possible, because we know no matter what, there's going to be a lot of students that need help, because medical school these days is pretty expensive.
The sudden passing of a professor prompted her students to create a scholarship in her memory. The students hope that the scholarship has as big of an impact on the recipient as a professor had on them.
We were really taught and influenced a lot by Dr. Richardson, and each class is, but I think it was a little bit more special for us because this was her last year with us.
Students from the class of 2021 founded a $25,000 scholarship for students with financial need.
We hope to provide all 4 years of scholarship money for the student, and not just a partial gift, but all the way through to help them with their medical education.
Fundraisers are held while the students are in school to raise money for the scholarship. They say donors have been generous.
It's a phenomenal feeling to know that we can give back, and this really is a gift that keeps on giving.
Since 1987, every class has been asked to create a scholarship to form a closer relationship with their classmates. Officials in the schools say they are proud of the outcome every year. Students say reducing school debt really is possible with persistence. They say they will continue to raise money through their own graduation and keep putting money in after they start in practice. Research plays a vital role in any major university's reputation, and as Ondo reports, the Marshall School of Medicine has received a substantial grant to boost biomedical research.
The Marshall Jones C. Edwards School of Medicine had just received $17 million award from the National Institute of Health to strengthen biomedical research efforts in West Virginia. Professor Rankin, chair of the Department of Biomedical Research, said the money brought advantages to the state.
Collectively, it's brought in over $71 million to the state. A very large grant that does a lot of good for West Virginia.
The grant was used for different purposes in an effort to build a solid infrastructure and increase capacity for biomedical research.
In the last few years, we've spent over $2 million just buying equipment across the state, and funded a lot of research programs, got a lot of young students headed on biomedical and professional research careers.
And when a college student does start a research project, it is not only better for them, but also for Marshall and its future ranking. The research will make both the students and the university more competitive.
And if we didn't have the research going on right now that we do, then we wouldn't be able to get more treatment options, find cures, do the things that medical doctors are then clinically translating that research into.
The award will encourage more students to get involved in biomedical research, and ultimately that's going to help with the disease treatment process. Or one of the research could win the Nobel Prize someday. Phương Anh Do, MU Report.
The job fair in this next story is pretty common. Jobs after graduation, not so much. The market has changed, and many students are much more stressed than ever about finding a job when they finish school.
This meeting isn't like any other these students have ever attended. That's because the people here will play a key role in the future of many gathered. This is a career expo, and when students are searching for jobs for after graduation, it's a really big deal.
To allow students to speak with employers, to talk about themselves, to learn about the companies, and put them in line for potential job openings.
Hundreds of companies, schools, and other employers come to these events searching for potential employees, and hundreds of students come in search of that all-important paycheck.
So companies love to see students. They love to see students who are prepared, and this is a great opportunity for them.
Employers say these meetings are much more than first impressions, glowing resumes, and positive attitudes.
Just look very prepared, like they're going in for an interview.
Students say career expos are an important step in the right direction. In this job market, students face a lot of pressure to be the perfect employee. But Marshall's Career Expos have given students the edge over other university graduates.
Students who end up getting interviews from this event, some companies interview on the same day or very shortly after, and so we hear a lot of great feedback from students that the Career Expo is where they found their position.
Marshall University hosts career expos at least once a semester and hopes every student will take advantage of it while they can.
The freshman 15 can be a struggle for many students, and sometimes it can be hard to find time to work out. But as Aaron Dickens reports, some students find ways to avoid gaining weight.
Although exercise is a big part in some students' lives, some of them even struggle to find time to go work out.
You have a new part of your life where you have to balance your social life and your class life, and time management becomes something that is pretty big.
But some students have made the time to avoid gaining weight by making a quick trip to the recreational center on campus.
Take advantage of the rec. I did not take advantage of the rec my freshman year hardly at all, and sophomore year I got into the rec a lot more. I realized that the rock wall is a ton of fun, and that really you just have a lot of things for yourself in the rec. You have a track, you have just about every machine you can think of.
There is also treadmills there that you can run on if the track is pretty busy. Also, I use the weights and stuff there, and a lot of times I just go in to play racquetball because that gets your cardio up, and I also rock climb because it works on lean muscles.
Not only is working out a vital part for maintaining weight, but some students say consistency is key.
At first I wasn't working out because I thought that I didn't have the time in my schedule because of homework and social life activities and other commitments that I had made, but I found that once I decided to commit to it, that 30 minutes to 45 minutes a day is not a big problem.
You're going to have to say no to friends and things and whatnot so that you can focus on yourself for your own mental health and for your own, also just for your physical health, because it is important that you are eating right and you're exercising daily.
Although the freshman 15 can be a struggle for many students, the Rec Center offers many opportunities for students to get rid of it. Aaron Dickens, MU reports.
Students can always sign up for exercise classes or just use their ID campus card to get into the rec if they're a full-time student.
MU Report ends this newscast with a lighter look at an important subject, construction around campus and the necessary inconvenience that comes with it. Almost nobody knows when a project will wrap up, and as Fareed reports, that means navigation is a bit of an issue.
Whether it's Smith Hall or Student Center, Marshall students are having a hard time finding their ways in the university as some of the buildings goes under construction.
Cut a hole in the floor, we're putting new stairs in, took the old stairs out. You got a new information area, flex room, all new glass going in there. Well, for one, we'd like to apologize for any inconvenience, for sure. And there's most of them are signs on the doors of coming in and, you know, going and coming. Or
yeah, if they don't know about the construction, they try and go that way to get into Smith Hall, but then they got to turn around and walk the other way. Or same thing with the students there. You can't run to the bookstore and then to the cafeteria. You got to walk all the way around from the outside.
Signs are helping students to follow directions around the campus. But the question is, when will the construction finally end? And it seems like management and even the workers have no idea about it.
I don't know that. I can't tell you that. Come on. I can't.
I think that the goal was to get it finished as quickly as possible and to try to get the construction projects done while school was out over the summer. However, there were delays in construction, but I think overall, once it's finished, everybody's going to be happy with what it looks like.
Marshall says that the construction on campus costing millions will wrap up long before the weather interrupts. Students and visitors can navigate the current construction and detours by using Marshall's website and Facebook page. Fareed, MU Report.
That's all the time we have for this edition of MU Report. This content is generated by students in the W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications. You can always catch this newscast on YouTube. And be sure to follow our reporters on Twitter and MU Report on Facebook. I'm Tiara Brown.
And I'm Mackenzie Watson. Have a great day.